Good morning and welcome back to the channel. It is officially week 2 of half marathon training. We have a few exciting gym updates. Number one, I have to finally fill our sandbags with sand. So we got some sand at the store the other day and we ordered a cable stack. So that will be coming in this week, I'm pretty sure. We got the first one filled. It wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. If you get it in the right position, it's not so bad. So now we gotta fill up all the other ones. This was the easiest. It was only 25 pounds. So let's go. Ended up getting 3 completely full and then 1 halfway full with the 200 pounds of sand. So I still have that one left over, so I'll have to get more sand for that. But for now, this little guy is probably going in mine for my little 25. This is the big one, so 50 to 125. And then the one that I'll be using is this one, the 25 to 75. So I'm gonna put my little sandbag in there and then we're good to go. A little test run. Oh yeah. The next task of the day is meal planning. Nutrition has not been a huge focus for me recently, which is really not a good thing. It used to be a huge focus for me, and I could tell right by the way I looked, the way I felt when I was working out. So anyways, I got some new cookbooks because I love me a cookbook, and so I'm gonna go through those. I'll show you guys which ones I got, and I'm gonna pick what I used to do is I pick like 2 breakfasts, 2 lunches, 2 dinners, 2 different types of snacks, so I have something to cycle throughout the week. But then I just buy the supplies for those meals, so I don't really have anything else in the house to eat other than what I've prepped. These are actually by the same person, so Run Fast, Eat Slow. So these are more for running diets because obviously I'm running a lot more. So I'll probably pick 1 or 2 out of these 2. And then this one I got just because personal preference. I love Mediterranean food. Welcome to my cooking show. Just kidding. When I was little though, I definitely did want a cooking show. But nonetheless, we are meal prepping and the first recipe that we're going to make is breakfast for the week. I'm taking it out of this first cookbook, the cookbooks I showed you earlier in the video. We are doing a spinach and sausage frittata. I did change a few things from the recipe, so instead of using plain yogurt, I used cottage cheese instead. And then instead of just doing 2 sausage links, the chicken sausage links, I did the whole pack because we need our protein, okay? We have little muscles, little noodles that we need to grow. So we put in a little extra protein. It's officially week 2 of half marathon training out of 16 weeks. This week, I'm going to be running the farthest distance I've ever run without stopping. I take that back. Actually, I think probably in high school playing soccer, I'm sure I ran this distance throughout a soccer game, but as an adult training for a half marathon, this is the longest I'm going to run without stopping so far, and it's a whopping 3.5 miles. I'm sure if you run all the time, that's child's play, but for me, it's main event, okay? So I'm very excited, and I'm actually feeling pretty ready this week. Last week, 3 miles really intimidated me, but 3.5 this week actually feels very approachable in an odd way. I know it's only been a week, and I'm at the very beginning of the week, so we'll see how I feel by the end. But this week's training will include the first speed run is going to be 6 sets of 400 meters at a 9-mile pace with a 90-second walk, and then we'll have a 2-mile easy run the next day. The third run of the week will be the second speed run, and this will be a tempo 1-mile warm-up, 1.5 miles at a 10-15 mile time, and then a half-mile cool down, and then at the end of the week will be our long run, so the 3.5 miles at a 12-minute mile pace. So I need to wrap up the workday, get ready for a run. It is sunny and about 100 outside, so it's gonna be a rough one, but we're gonna get it in and it's gonna be fun. I wanted to sit down and have a little coffee chat with you guys. I haven't done this yet in my vlogs, but I wanted to share something that's been super impactful in my life over the last 5 weeks. So I'm in a 6-week, I guess you could call it challenge. It's not a program or anything, it's just a little framework that I made for myself. And we'll just say at week 2 is when I started my YouTube channel. So it definitely is impactful, and I've shared it with some of my girlfriends too, and they feel like it's been really helpful as well. And so I just wanted to extend it to my little YouTube family. Basically, it's just 10 to 15 minutes of journaling in the morning, and I'll put it into like a nice PDF and put it down in the description. I should be able to do like a clickable link now on my YouTube channel, but if not, I'll troubleshoot it, I'll figure it out. But anyways, I just wanted to come on here and say that I'm turning 27 in roughly 2 weeks. And I know I'm not out of my 20s yet, but I'm pretty far in. And the one thing about your 20s is that honestly, it's just chaos. There's so much change from your environment to what you do, what you find as your passions. Just everything around you is so dynamic, and honestly, it's been very confusing for me. I feel like every time I call and talk to one of my friends or call my parents and tell them what I'm doing, it's literally different. And that's probably on an every other week basis, just because I've been in a phase of just throwing it all at the wall and seeing what sticks, basically. I've been through so many different phases, and I think a lot of people can relate to that, just because you grow up and you get so much external feedback, and usually there's this outline and a point system of sorts that kind of lets you know if you're doing a good job or not. An easy example for me would be school. I excelled in the school environment because there was a rubric that told me exactly what I needed to do with syllabus, so I knew exactly what, the next 6 to 8 months, I guess, how long are you in school for there? Probably around that. Of what you're supposed to do, what the expectations are, and what the grading scale is. And so for me, it was very easy to reach these goals and feel really good about these goals because externally, I got really positive feedback. I think that external feedback has somewhat of a bad reputation in general, but I feel like there is definitely a time and a place, and it is really healthy. I think it's healthy when you also have that internal validation happening as well. And like I said, growing up, you're kind of just by default, you get feedback from your parents and your siblings and your friends and your school, and if you're in a religious system, you get feedback from that as well. And society as a whole, especially nowadays with social media, there's so many different data points that you can judge yourself by or get feedback constantly, and it just honestly gets so confusing because you don't know. At least for me in my 20s, I don't know if I'm doing this because I want to do this or because I know it'll make someone around me proud. And that separation became very murky, and I feel like I'm definitely not the only person who feels this way. So I just want to sit down and say that if you're also in your 20s or even in your 30s and you're feeling this way too, that it's a part of the process, and I feel like it's a really important part of the process. And just recently I feel like I've been really stripping away different expectations that I've set for myself and for things around me and people around me, and just trying to settle down a little bit and just chill out, because I am a yes woman. If you know me personally, you know that I'm likely going to say yes to something, and I'm likely going to try my hardest at it regardless of, you know, anything that's going on in my life. And you would also know that I'm like a personal development addict. Okay, this bookshelf back here, it's full of like personal development books. I've taken like every course you can think of, gone to therapy, you know, done every like archetypal quiz you can imagine, just because I was trying to search for me, or at least something that is a baseline that I can go back to when I'm feeling confused or lost. And so anyways, this little 6-week program, I guess you can call it, or challenge, has really helped me. And I just feel like it's the only fair thing to do is just to share it with you guys too. Whether you're starting a fitness journey or you're just trying to explore yourself a little bit more, I just feel like it's so accessible and easy. It's literally 5 or 10 minutes a day. And so anyways, like I said, I'll put the questions down below in the description, but being in your 20s is just wild, and I don't know why, but I just felt like I really needed to talk about that and share that with you guys, just because it is a really big part of my life right now. It's just this transition period and sorting things out and figuring out who Sammie is. Not the Sammie that I've always been, but the Sammie that I am now, and maybe the Sammie I want to become. But again, that's the beauty of it. In 5 years, I might be a completely different person, and that's okay too. And so I'm just here to say, if you're also feeling confused and you feel like everything is just a mess, that's okay. It's probably supposed to feel that way, unfortunately, and all you can do is just keep showing up for yourself. But I'll definitely share the resources down below. Like I said, I'll put in like a pretty little PDF so you can use like the notes on your phone, or if you want to get a journal. Personally, I love writing things out like on a piece of paper with pen and paper. It feels so much more real to me that way. So I'll definitely share that, and hang in there, friend. It's gonna be okay. And you're gonna do great things, and I know that for a fact, and it's okay to be really confused, because I think most of us are. So anyways, I'm going to drink my coffee, even though I said this was a coffee chat, but I haven't had a sip of coffee yet. So yeah, I am starting my long run, which is the last run of the week. This week's honestly been really challenging run-wise. My body's just not been feeling very good, but I'm hopeful for this long run. I'm doing it at sunset, so I have something beautiful to look at, so that's really exciting. But I'll just use this as my little closer. I've learned a lot this week. 1, I need better running shorts, like long ones. 2, I need to still figure out my fueling. I'm definitely doing something wrong.
Pace high 1020.
And 3, I need to get out of bed earlier, because running after work is just not, it's not good for me, because it's always like over 100 degrees out. The sun is like insane, and it's just extra challenging, and I think I need to take at least one challenging aspect out. So anyways, thank you guys for watching this week. I'm gonna get into my long run and hopefully catch a beautiful sunset. Bye!